Hello, my name is Nassib Boueri and I'm the founder of Cadmos. We are a fintech sitting at the crossroads of asset management and blockchain technology. I will demo you today Cadmos Finance, which is our tokenization solution. And I'm proud to say that we developed the most advanced tokenization engine available on the market today. So a tokenization engine is a series of tools used to issue on a blockchain investment vehicle. Our solution has been purpose-built and customized for investment funds, which are the most complicated type of investment vehicle possible, and so we can easily also be used to issue debt or equity. In a nutshell, so we have in the backend the asset management protocol, and this is what sets us apart in that we created the smart contracts which can replace the administrator of an investment fund. And so you can outsource your back office to the blockchain and leave to these smart contracts the role of automating fund administration tasks. And so you can have real-time NAV update, real-time subscription redemption, etc. The other part of the solution is, of course, the front end. So the interface through which the investors will receive the reporting from the investment and also be able to invest into the issued vehicle. And so when we plug these two aspects together, what we obtain is a front-to-back solution, which allows you to launch a fund as a token and to raise capital in a couple of hours. So without further ado, let's move to the demo. So what we'll demonstrate you today is the following track. So first I'll create a fund as a token in a couple of clicks. Then we'll upload some offering documentation, for instance, a prospectus, and a prospective investor will sign it. And upon signing it, he will be whitelisted by the administrator in order to be able to invest into the fund. Subscribe to the fund using MetaMask, and you will see the money from his wallet go into the fund's current account. Then he'll collect the fund token in self-custody, step 5, and finally we'll do an example of corporate action. For instance, the manager making a dividend distribution and the investor collecting it into his wallet, and you will see how this distribution impacts NAV. Here we are on the administrative platform and we will launch a new investment fund. So I'm connected as a fund manager using my MetaMask. And to launch a fund, we only have to go here in create investment pool. So we're using Web3 lingo. We are talking about investment pools for funds. And I have to select a few variables. First, the blockchain. So we are compatible with all EVM blockchain. So Ethereum, Arbitrum, Optimism, BSC, Avalanche, etc. Bloom. So, and first we have to select the fund-based currency. So the token which will be accepted as inflows, which will be paid out in outflows, and which the accounting will take place. So you can use any ERC20 here. Usually you use a stable coin. Okay? Then you have the strategist address, the address to which the management incentive fees will be paid, and the treasury address, so the address into which the funds proceeds, the inflows proceeds will be wired. So this is a key aspect of our solution. It is that we are fully modulable. We only handle liability management onto the blockchain so that you can deploy the assets into any purpose you see fit. So for instance, real world assets in real estate, crypto strategies, etc. We are agnostic on what happens on the asset side of the investment. Then the name of the token. Okay, so demo September and a symbol. Now, by clicking on launch, I'm ordering through MetaMask to deploy all the smart contracts which are making out a single investment pool. So there are around 9 smart contracts in order to handle the various aspects of the logic for the inflows, for the subscription, for the computation and payment of incentive fees, hurdle rates, etc., distributions. And now it has been deployed, and we only have to add a little bit of information onto the front end, a little bit of color to give to the investor. So here we use the same format that is currently used by asset managers, but with key benefits, the objectives, and how it works, so to give some information to the investor. And of course, it can be fully customizable depending on the kind of the issue. So for real estate, for instance, we'll have some picture added in order to display in what projects does the vehicle invest. Okay, so here we are. And the pool has been created. So I can skip this. And it is here. Okay. So when I click on this button, I'm redirected to the front end, so to the other portal, the investor portal. And here the fund is. So it is not yet live, so I cannot deposit. And here I have all the information. So first, qualitative information, and then some technical information directly sourced by the smart contract. And of course, as soon as there is a track record, the NAV chart appears here in order to give some information to the investor. Okay, so now as the administrator, let us finish the setup of the fund. So first we have the whitelist to set up. So by default, the fund is permissionless, so anyone can invest on primary or secondary market. But we have several options in place in order to be able to better control who invests or owns the fund tokens. So first, we can enforce a primary market whitelist so that investors need to be whitelisted to access the primary market, so to subscribe or to redeem. We can even add a peer-to-peer transfer whitelist restriction so that the secondary market is only between whitelisted participants. And last, you can even forbid peer-to-peer transfer. Okay, so we'll add a primary market whitelist, which is the standard model. And here you have other options in order to be able to customize the management rewards, rates, rewards meaning fee. Here we are using Web3 lingo, the performance fee rate, the administration fee rate, soft hard holder rates, exit entry fees. You can set up also minimum and maximum entries, gates also, etc. And so we'll click on this button to launch investment pool to allow subscription to be managed. And lastly, we'll also upload prospectus to be signed by the investor in order to be able to invest. So here I'm using the Bitcoin white paper, but you can use any kind of legal document. This is representative of your legal offering. Okay, so now back to the investors portal. Here we are here. So you see that now the button has changed. It is not grayed out, but I'm asked to sign the document in order to be able to invest. So I'm logged into the platforms with a KYC account. So let's do it. I'll sign the document. So the legal agreement has been emailed to you. I'll now be waiting for the e-signature provider to send me the document. Here it is. Okay, so I have been invited to sign the document. And here we are. The name, etc. is populated directly with my KYC information. So here I am. I have signed the offering documentation of our new test fund. Back into the investor relation tabs of the investor administrative panel. Here we see that we have a prospective investor who is KYC'd, who has signed the legal offering documentation. You can also, of course, download a copy of the signed document for your internal archives. And so here what we are doing is whitelisting the investor smart contract so that he is able to invest. So I'm giving the order for my MetaMask here to whitelist the investor within the blockchain for our fund. And so now it has been done, and I will not now be able to invest into the fund. So you see now I can deposit. This button has been enabled. And so by clicking here, I just have to input how much I want to deposit. So of course, here we are in an open-ended bond model. So the exact amount of tokens I will receive given my investment will depend on the fixing, so the NAV update, which is done by the administrator before validating all the inflows and outflows. So I'm clicking on deposits here, and upon doing this, here I'm investing $1,000. These dollars are taken away from my wallet and set apart in a dedicated escrow smart contract, which handles all the inflow. This is what we call the inflow pool. And now back to the administrative panel, the administrator sees that there are pending inflows of 1,000 USD. Okay. So through this button here, he first gets the option to update the NAV if it is needed. Otherwise, to validate the inflows, and here we have a DVP, a delivery versus payment, between a freshly minted fund token and the cash from the stable coins from the investor. So this occurs within the inflow pool smart contract. And here we are. This has been validated. What you see is that I don't have 1,000 USD pending into the inflow pool, and I can now collect 1,000 shares. And now I'm just removing this freshly minted fund token from the escrow smart contract in order to put them into self-custody into my MetaMask wallet. And so we are now at the step 5 of our demo. Okay, and so what remains to be done is to make a dividend distribution. So I'll go into the administrative panel, and here you see that we have 1,000 USD which arrived into the fund current account. So you can see it in the blockchain here. We have 1,000 USD which arrived when we did the transaction. And so here I have the option to do, for instance, a dividend distribution. So let's do this. Give back some money to the investor. So of course, if you are using the platform to issue a bond, for instance, you will use this logic in order to pay the interest. Okay. So here I gave the order as the administrator to pay back 100 USD to the investors, and this is distributed on a pro rata basis. And we are waiting now on the transaction to be validated to the blockchain. So it happened now. So that you see that we have a new button which appeared, which is collect rewards. And I can now collect the 150 USD, which has been distributed. Perfect. And also what you notice here is that the NAV of the fund has decreased, of course, because we did the distribution. So, and you see that I have been paid the 150 USD onto the blockchain. And lastly, because the NAV has changed, of course, if I want to deposit, say, $1,000 now, I will receive more than 1,000 shares. So depending on the NAV. And so here we are. What you have seen is how we created a fund as a token in a couple of clicks. We uploaded the offering documentation. The KYC investor logged into the platform signed it. Then, after being whitelisted by the administrator, he subscribed into the fund using MetaMask. The cash from the subscription hit the fund wallet. The investor collected the fund into self-custody. And lastly, I have shown you an example of corporate action, so we support many more, where the managers make a dividend distribution, how the investor collects it into his wallet, and how the NAV is automatically updated, so that you have seen the price of the token change. And so all this we have done in about 15 minutes. Of course, this is where you see how tremendous this technology is. In the traditional financial world, this would have taken in many days of process. So this was all for now. And thank you very much for watching this demo. And